So that, of course, was the opening match of a Group B. So that makes Sun Yu, at the moment, top of the group. Of course, we will be watching Akane Yamaguchi a little later on. And with Pusala Venkata Sindhu, who's been in 2 finals this year, the Olympic silver medalist. And that should be a great match. So to our next match, and it features the man who finished #1 on the Super Series standings in the men's singles, the first European ever to do so. Jan O Jorgensen of Denmark will play against the #8 seed, Hu Yun from Hong Kong. So the men's singles from Group A, Jan O Jorgensen, the #1 seed, against the #8 seed, Hu Yun of Hong Kong.
Let's welcome the players in the men's singles onto court. First up, the #1 seed from Denmark, Jan O Jorgensen. Please welcome his opponent from Hong Kong, China, the #8 seed, Hu Yun.
Hu Yun from Hong Kong, making his 4th appearance here at the Super Series finals, and he wasn't sure until the last moment whether he would get the call, because of course it being an Olympic year, the Olympic champions in each of the 5 disciplines get a wild card entry. But the invitation to Chen Long, the Olympic men's singles champion, was not accepted. And therefore, this man, Hu Yun, has a 4th opportunity to play at the end of year championships, the Super Series finals. Certainly an event that all the players want to come to. Big prize money, big points, wonderfully organised tournament. So fine, Datan from India is our umpire for this one. Well, Jan O Jorgensen not only making history as finishing the year as the world #1 on the Super Series standings, became the first man ever to win the China Open from a European country. He is the current world #3, and he has been as high as 2, as you can see. But this is a 4th consecutive year that he's finished on the Super Series standings at either 3 or above. Now, what's that for consistency? That is absolutely brilliant. He's been a semi-finalist at this event 3 times previously. In fact, the last 3 years. But can he go even better this time around? His opponent is the #8 seed, Hu Yun of Hong Kong. Born in Wuhan, in Hubei province, and he is the oldest player in the men's singles at the age of 35. He moved to Hong Kong in 2005 and started representing Hong Kong in 2008. He's played all 12 Super Series tournaments this year and finished the year ranked 9 on the Super Series standings. He was a semi-finalist 4 years ago at the Super Series finals. And for these 2 players, well, this will be a 12th time that they have met in international competition. The previous 11, if you're a Hong Kong fan, I do beg your pardon, it's the 6th time they've met. But Hu Yun only won 1 of the previous 4 occasions. Has gone to 3 games twice previously, though. Last time they met was in the group stage of the Super Series finals a year ago. And it was 2 straight games, as you saw, 21-10, 23-21. So I've already mentioned our umpire. Our service judge is Lorenz Bester from South Africa.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, O Jorgensen, Denmark, and on my left, Hu Yun, Hong Kong, China. Hu Yun to serve, love all, play.
So the oldest man in the men's singles competition, Hu Yun,
Service over,
getting this
one,
Group A
love.
match underway.
Two, love.
So Jan O Jorgensen, first European to end the year #1, first European to win the China Open, which he did last month. And a couple of years ago, he was the first man from Europe ever to win the Indonesian Super Series event.
Yeah.
Hat-trick of firsts.
A trailblazer.
Yeah. Started in
Three, love.
pretty impressive form too.
Yeah, he's had a quite good year. He's been having troubles with his hip, and so that sometimes bothers him, and that's why we see some mysterious first round exits, also to good players. But Denmark Open lost to Xiu Ji in the first round, and I think it was Singapore Open where he lost to Sho Sasaki in the first round, and still managed to finish #1 on the Super Series rankings. So he's done reasonably well in the other tournaments.
Yeah, he certainly has. 3 Super Series
Service
tournament
over.
finals
1,
this
4.
year. Winning in China, lost in Indonesia. Incidentally, that was his 3rd consecutive Indonesian Open final. And lost in the final of Japan as well. So he's had
2, 4.
a very, very good year as this man, Jorgensen.
Played a reasonably good Olympics as well. Lost 21-19, 21-19 to Shrikant, and I mean, it's a close game. So it's the Olympics. Everything is really tense. So he was in good shape as well. But I think he's been able to fly a little bit under the radar because of Victor Axelsen winning the bronze medal at the Olympics and so on. I actually have a feeling that it suits him quite well. That he can sort of
Not have the pressure of the #1 day.
yeah, exactly.
6-2.
Hu Yun. They played each other last year, as you said, Joe, in the group stage. It's almost the same group because Chen Ho Wei was also in the group last year. Only Chen Long is exchanged for Mark Zwiebler this year here, and Hu Yun didn't show off much last year. Lost all 3 matches in 2 games, so hopefully he's got something better to show us this year. Comes from a good tournament in Hong Kong.
Very good tournament in Hong Kong, where he reached the semi-final, losing out to the eventual champion in Kalong. That's lovely placement.
9-2.
Right, cruising at the moment is Jan O Jorgensen. Only 3 minutes into the match.
That's what.
Yeah, 11-2 at the mid-game interval.
11-2 interval.
Number 1 seed storming through at the moment.
Uden at det er for kompliceret.
Ja, det er sådan min eneste. Det er den der venten på, at han kommer med hele. Men det er også vigtigt, at jeg ikke føler, at jeg behøver at spille vildt for at gøre det her.
Men når du server, så er det klar med skeen, og så hurtigt ben til forbanen. Ja, så den skal hente, så hælder du den bare op, og så må han tage sin chance ned i den der.
Så længe han ikke vil arbejde mere,
ja, lige nok.
Så sker der ikke noget ved at bare stå langt fremme, og så bare lade ham spille op.
Lige nok. Bare spille hurtigt på. Løfter ham rundt.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds.
Well, Kenneth Jonassen, the Danish coach, and for Huyun, Luan Jin. I don't know, did you manage to pick up any of the conversation there, Steen?
Yeah, they were quite satisfied. Jan was sort of waiting for Huyun to show some more, to up the pace and so on. But on the other hand, he said, well, as long as he doesn't do that, I don't have to play totally 100%. I just have to be ready on the front court. And they feel that he's not really willing to work, to put in the amount of work that it needs, Huyun. So right now, fairly easy game for Jan Jorgensen.
He looks a pace above Huyun at the moment. Yeah. But I mean, you have to credit Huyun. I mean, he's once again played all 12 Super Series tournaments this year. And in fact, if you look at the last 5 years, he's played 57 out of the 60 Super Series tournaments. I mean, he's a great supporter. And
he's a great supporter.
Yeah.
But he's had tough times since the Olympics. Hasn't won a lot. It was Hong Kong Open was clearly his best tournament since the Olympics.
Yeah.
And I mean, what he's showing right now is not it's not impressive.
It's just long.
So it's over.
It's remarkable, though. I mean, you look at the qualifiers here for the Super Series finals in the men's singles. Oh, goodness, that was a good line call, wasn't it? By the line judge. Only 3 out of the 8 men's singles qualifiers have actually won a Super Series tournament this year. And that, of course, is Lee Chong-wei. He's won 3 Super Series tournaments. Jano Jorgensen and Ng Ka Long.
That's extraordinary.
It is extraordinary, isn't it?
And Jan has won, what, 2?
No, he's won 1.
He's won 1. That was the China Open?
Yeah.
So only 5 Super Series
17-4
wins are represented here. The other 7 didn't qualify.
Yep. Lindan, Kenta Momoto, Sonidui Kunchoro, Vittinghus, Chiao Bin, Tanan Saksan Sumbun Sak, Chi Uchi. I mean, we've had a great variety of winners of the men's singles this year, apart from Lee Chong-wei's 3 titles, the 9 other titles going to 9 different players. It's been the most diverse ever. Well, there's a challenge here. Left arm up by the umpire indicates a challenge. If he puts his right arm up, it means he's calling the tournament referee. So the first challenge of this men's singles. Now, what does Hawkeye say? Says it was out.
Challenge unsuccessful. 1 challenge remaining. Service over. 5-18 play.
Wide. Yeah. I think you're right, Jill, with the drift, left to right,
Yeah.
sideways drift. I haven't been able to pick up a lot on drifts along the court, but maybe we'll get a clue later on.
Tricky
So
little
it's
shot
over.
there from Hu Yun.
6-19. Seven, 19.
Oh, that's great skill. Great disguise from Hu Yun.
8-19.
It's almost, oh dear, error on serve brings up game point opportunities.
So it's over. 20, game point, 8.
Opening game in double quick time, just a
First
little
game
over 10
won
minutes.
by Daniel Jorgensen, 21-8.
21-8. Hardly breaking sweat in that opening game. Jan O Jorgensen, and one game to the good.
Der får du lige den der med, at Alexander er en lille smule for langsom og for blødt til forbanen, så får han lige lidt flere valgmuligheder.
Ja. Jo. Ja, altså helt fra 0 nu.
Ja, men det er mest, ja, lige nok, men det er mest også den måde, du angriber bolden på, at du stadigvæk vil spille dueller, når du stadigvæk flytter ham, men du er hele tiden ligger klar med den her arm hele tiden. Hver gang du laver noget til forbanen, så sker der noget. Ja. Ja.
Jeg ved, at det kommer lidt ind, så det er også vildt at serve på et tidspunkt.
Ja.
Jin. Oh, my goodness me, my opinion, he's made a huge difference since he's moved to Hong Kong with the singles players.
Yeah, we've got 4 really good men's singles players in the top of the world rankings.
And 2 of them are here at the Super Series finals.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. I mean, Hu Yun probably didn't know that Chen Long was going to decline the invitation, so he was actually out of the Super Series finals until the last minute here. Had he known that he was going to play here, he probably wouldn't have played China, Hong Kong, Macau,
Code
3 tournaments
1, 20
in a
seconds.
row.
Code 1, 20 seconds. Second game, love all, play.
So Jan O Jorgensen, the #1 seed. Well, you couldn't have dreamt of a better start. That's a good point you make, though, Steen, about Hu Yun perhaps didn't know that he was coming here to the Super Series finals. But I thought in the opening game, you noticed during the women's singles match that Jan O Jorgensen was standing already warmed up. He was looking to see if he was about to come onto court for his match. And it almost looked to me as if Hu Yun was expecting a third game and that he was still going to continue his warm-up.
That's right.
Is that me being a little harsh? I'm always a little harsh, aren't I? But there we go.
But we've seen Hu Yun play like this, and the worst thing that Jan could do right now is to let Hu Yun in the game, because then we'll see a whole different player.
Yeah, I agree.
Unfortunately, the probability of seeing the other side of Hu Yun is apparently a little bit less likely here after the Olympics, where he's struggled to find form.
That's nice movement and nice smash from Jorgensen. Was there anything of significance, any advice from Kenneth Jonassen in that 2-minute timeout?
It's just the same. Mainly focus on the front court, and when Jan plays the front court, they know that Hu Yun is going to try something, try a little bit of deception, sometimes a big deception. But I feel he's got it really, really good covered, that it's hard for Hu Yun to score on Jan.
Yeah.
Service over. 1-5.
I don't know, perhaps we should mention that this was not originally a match that was selected for the TV court. Originally it was scheduled for one of the other courts, but Matthias Boe, men's doubles with Boe and Mogensen, unfortunately fell ill.
Service over.
Yeah.
Had to withdraw.
So it is slightly a different time from his expected match time.
Yeah. And that could mean something in terms of when you eat and.
Yep. That's just right. And it's tragedy, of course, for Matthias Boe, because I had researched the fact that they were the only players in history, Boe and Mogensen, to have qualified for all 9 Super Series tournament finals. This is the 9th event, qualified for all of them, but we can't say now that they've played in all of them.
No, but shows how consistent they've been as a pair.
Yeah, incredible.
Over the 9 years.
Yeah. Three-time former champions as well. This is a good rally, best rally of the match so far. Probably the longest rally of the match as well. That's a pity. That's a pity from Hu Yun.
So it's over. 7-2.
And he's got trouble scoring. Who?
Because he doesn't have the winning shots? Or?
Yeah. He's on, all the time he's under a little bit of too much pressure. He needs to be able to go steep.
Yeah, and he's trying to play perfect net shots and trying to do so. He's making 1 or 2 errors. It's a lovely looking backhand, isn't it, from Hu Yun, but he played himself into trouble there. That one.
And Jan's smash perhaps not as steep as Hu Yun's, but a little bit more powerful.
Ten, 2. (11-2) interval.
11-2. Only a little over 17 minutes into the match.
Men det er fordi, du når bolden hele tiden hurtigt, og så tager du det rigtige valg af. Som er, hvis han er i nærheden, så løfter du ham bare. Hvis du er for langt ned, så løfter du ham væk.
Fordi jeg står fint i defen, men han svarer han nettet.
Ja, lige nok, det er der, han gerne vil have. Men det er forbanen, han skaber noget fra. Hvis han skal angribe ned, så er det fint.
Så det er vigtigt, at jeg bliver ved med at føle i hvert fald. At jeg bliver ved med at søge at være først. Ja, og sådan det ikke bare bliver, sådan vi ikke bare spiller ham rundt.
Stærk arm hele tiden, det er vigtigt. Og så variation i armen.
Code 1, 20 seconds. Code 1, 20 seconds.
Lots of reassurance, I assume.
Yeah, a lot of reassurance, like a racehorse that's leading by 1 or 2 lengths, and you sort of, the jockey just have to remind it that it's got to keep running until the goal line. It's a little bit that situation that we've got here, that very satisfied that he's responding, Jan, when Hu Yun tries something and tries to create some points for himself, and Jan is responding well and upping the pace as well, so he's not giving any free points away, even if you could be tempted to that when you lead as big as 11-2. Good rally here. I mean, as we discussed earlier, a single game victory in a loss is valuable, but it's also a 2-game win and a 2-game with a lot of point differential is really, really valuable as well.
Yeah.
It's almost as good as another game.
Yes, because of course in the group situation, it's not just matches won and lost. If 2 players or even 3 players are equal on the number of matches won and lost, then other criteria are brought in, and one of those criteria is the number of games within a match that's been won and lost.
Over, 13-3.
But this is a handsome, handsome lead, isn't it? 13-3.
He's having a lot of backhand returns on the flick serves for you, and that's a little bit unusual as well.
Yeah. Harsh people like myself would say it's lazy. You're far too polite, Steen.
Yeah, it depends.
Oh my goodness
Whoa.
gracious. Well, he completely missed it.
Service
And another
over.
go at it.
4-14.
Yeah, no, Jorgensen, look at this. He tries to play the net kill. Here we go. Misses it. Oh, well, I'll play an underarm shot then. Amazing.
Service over, 15-4.
New shuttle required, says Jorgensen.
Service over,
Jan agrees.
5-15.
It's landed well long of the back line.
Service over, 16-5.
Just
17-5.
I was going to say he's unable to put the Dane under pressure at all.
Yeah, and I've just checked the his results after the Olympics, and there's a number of games where he's
18-5.
lost the game, but only by a one-cipher scoreline. He's only been able to score 9 or less points. That's very unusual.
19-5.
Well, for a player who's been in 3 Super Series tournament finals in his career, this, by his own standards, is a disappointing
match
performance
point 5.
because it's match point opportunities already for the #1 seed. And that'll do. 21-8, 21-5. Oh, Steen, I'm going to get you to check the record books. 22 minutes in total for that match. I wonder if that's the fastest men's singles match in Super Series history.
Could be.
21-5.
Yeah. Well, there is confirmation of the scoreline. 22 minutes in total. And Jan Jorgensen, the #1 seed, gets off to a winning start. So, we knew he was in good form. That wonderful win in Fuzhou in China, winning the China Premier Super Series. And he's continued that good form through to the Super Series finals here. Opens with a win in his first match. So what a start for the number 1 seed, Jan O Jorgensen. One match played, 1 win, and the reason he's ahead of Tian Hao-wei is because he won by a bigger margin of his 2 straight games. Tian Hao-wei beat Mark Schriebler, the 2 left-handers there, battle of the left-handers, 21-15, 21-7. So Jorgensen top of the group at the moment. But the next match features the number 2 seed. There he is, So-man Ho of Korea, up against the 4-time former champion Lee Chong-wei of Malaysia. While they wait in the wings, of course, that's our next match, that men's singles, and obviously from Group B with the number 2 seed. And then after that, we will have the Olympic silver medalists in the women's